Hello, my name is Alfred Pinocchio, and today I'll be talking to you about the global environmental issue of energy. Currently, planet Earth is under an energy crisis because humans are too reliant on coal, fossil fuels, and nuclear energy. These reserves are dwindling because these are non-renewable resources. They also have a terrible environmental impact, such as pollution from carbon dioxide emissions, oil spills like the one that was seen by BP in the Gulf Coast, and nuclear radiation spills such as Chernobyl and Fukushima. The other downside to using non-renewable resources is the socio-economic impact. Different economic markets succeed and fail with non-renewable energy. If you take a look at the surrounding community that lives near a nuclear power plant, some of these people might have jobs. The surrounding communities around that community don't, and the person who owns a nuclear power plant is the only rich person in that community. The wealth is not distributed. With clean energy, there's more of a wealth distribution because there isn't one giant oil tycoon who owns all of the money. Societies are affected by these markets as well when the disasters strike, like the BP oil spill. Fishers had they struggled after that because their fish were contaminated with oil and they were out of jobs. With solar energy, you could benefit and feed the hungry if solar panels were planted around a farm that needed the energy, but they otherwise couldn't afford it through the oil companies or whatnot. Solar energy ends up paying for itself because it captures solar light from the sun and heat radiation and converts that to energy. The sun doesn't charge anybody money. So there's two types of solar panels. There's solar cells, which are photovoltaic, and that's the typical. They either use those in large-scale power stations like big solar farms or small-scale on people's roofs. They convert lighter energy through conductors into electron activity, which then creates electricity. There's also solar thermal power plants, which use big towers that convert solar light and radiation into heat, powering a steam-powered turbine, which converts the steam into electrical energy. Solar panels will help because energy is created without pollution or byproducts. There's no liability for an oil spill or a nuclear radiation spill. As you see in Chernobyl, people are still affected today, and that happened decades ago. And with Fukushima, we don't even know the full extent of the impact of that disaster yet, as a lot of the ocean is contaminated, and I'm sure the fish are too. It's going to have negative impacts over a long time, and we haven't even found those out yet. Solar energy, that's not possible. Solar energy just captivates energy from the sun, and there's no carbon emissions. Actually, it would reverse those effects because people wouldn't put out as many carbon emissions, and then the trees would do their job in intaking carbon and putting out oxygen as they naturally do. Not using solar panels will hurt because non-renewable resource reserves will be depleted within this century. We will run out of oil. We will run out of coal. And if we don't run out of nuclear energy, which I don't think that's possible, a disaster will strike the longer we wait. Like I said, we don't even know the full impact of the Fukushima disaster yet, but we do about Chernobyl, and it really is disastrous. You have three-eyed fish swimming around and whatnot, and people with long-term health effects. You can't even walk around the site of Fukushima. Just the radiation in the air is too dangerous and deadly. With solar panels, this isn't an option. Solar panels simply just draw in light from the sun and create energy. And for homeowners, they actually pay themselves off. The solar panels pay themselves off because they create enough energy to be able to sell that energy to the electrical companies. So no air pollution, no oil pollution, and no nuclear waste pollution with solar panels. If we ignore solar panels, this pollution will continue, and the state of the environment is going to continue to decline. It's too detrimental to the air, the oceans, plants, animals, and humans to continue in the cycle that we are on. as well as with the food and the water and the air that we intake. They're all becoming contaminated because we are using these non-renewable, non-clean resources. So, using solar panels means using cleaner resources, means setting up a cleaner planet for us and our children and our grandchildren. Not only that, but there's also a socioeconomic impact that comes with it. The wealthy will suffer from changing to clean energy because the few large oil tycoons who are holding on to the majority of the money in the world will lose their money. Wealth will be better distributed and poverty will decline. Also, famine will decline too if this energy is used in the right way, if solar panels are provided to those in need, possibly donated to farms in places like India and Africa and highly impoverished, famined areas that could use energy without the cost. The whole world will be made better with solar panels. And that is the solution to the energy crisis.